Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks. Somebody sent me this logo. They didn't think it was very good and it doesn't look very good. It's got some problems, but we can easily fix it. There's this line that going through here, and I don't know if the logo needs this gray back, but I've already done it. Just a few easy steps. So for the one I'm doing it for, I reduced it in size quite a bit. It's always, to me, it's always better. I think Corel does a quicker, better job. I'm not going to convert it to a bitmap or anything. I'm just going to trace the bitmap, outline, trace, clip art. And it does it pretty quickly and it's done. Then if we move the trace version, you can see, one, that there's some white in it. That doesn't really matter. We can get rid of the white. But we need to get rid of these lines first. Whatever they are, however they got in there, they're actually part of this drawing. And so we're going to grab it and we're going to go to Object and Group and ungroup it. Now, I didn't move anything, so I think I'm going to move it back. Yep. I can grab that gray matter. But to get rid of this line, it's actually part of this black line. So let's left click, right click. And you can see that line. The best way to get rid of it, and you'd have to smooth it out later, is, to me, the best way to take the 2-point line and just draw 2 lines from there to there, there to there, and maybe we can delete that other part. You know what, let's go right here. And then take your virtual segment delete key and delete those lines. I don't know what those lines are for. Okay? Now we're going to need to do the same thing on the other side. So it's always better to look at it. What this is 2 lines going around it. And it'd almost be ready, maybe easier, and I'll maybe make a second video. It's just late at night. I'm about through for the day. I'm going to just bring those nodes down. Trying to make one, and there's actually 2 sets there, so let's delete all those. So when you have a double set of lines, you got the node selected, you can delete them. And then we're going to take this and quite possibly delete these 2. See, there's another set of lines, so we can grab them all and hit delete. Now, let's just take away these 2 nodes and then select these 2 and right click your mouse and turn it into a line. Then we can take these 2 nodes and actually bring it down. And we can actually bring this down. And by doing that, we can take the virtual segment delete key and delete that. So this thing is less than 1 inch tall. We're going to set our nudge factor on, let's make it 1.5. And let's take this outline and fill it in with black and move it down. Fill in the second part. I'm going to have to zoom in here. And I just did a video about this today. If it doesn't fill in, there's something leaking and you got problem. So there is a problem with that. Let's just delete that. We could almost get rid of that total line. Let's do that. Let's try the shape tool. See, there's even part over here we can delete. And with the shape tool, with all those nodes selected, we can hit delete. So we've gotten rid of this outline. We can reproduce this double outline at any time. And matter of fact, maybe even make it better. So we still got the white here. And let's enlarge our yellow box. So let's get rid of the white. Best way to do that is go find and replace, and then select the white. You can see white right here from selected. Find all, and then hit delete, or hit Control G, and then hit delete. Well, it took everything away. For some reason, that isn't ungrouped anymore. Wow. Let me take my yellow box, see if there's some other white in there. Somehow that got grouped together. Let's go to object group and ungroup. Okay. Grab the white. It says white down here. From selected, find all. There must be some white down in here. There we go. That's all really need. Let's get rid of that white in the middle. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this white, but I'm going to get rid of all this white with find and replace. It's got to work. From selected, find all. There we go. Now Control G and then hit delete. There we go. Now all you have to do is make all this black. So select it and it is a field, but we're going to left click the mouse, black. We're done. Except for this part of this logo. And you can see it, it's not perfect anyway. You know, it's got some faults. So I'm almost going to say we can reproduce that quite easily by taking the ellipse tool and drawing an ellipse and just put it up there for just a second. Bring this in, bring this at an angle, bring this up. It might take just a minute, but I guarantee it'll be better. Whoop. At this point, I should have locked my yellow. And see, now I'm going to make it a little bit longer, and we're good to go. Now, I'm going to move it out of the way for a second, and I'm going to take this one. Well, I'm going to take this one and go ahead and make it thicker. Maybe 1 point, maybe 3 points, maybe 2 points. And make it black. Whoop. Make it, it's a line. Now what I need to do is make it kind of similar to that. Take a 2-point line, and I'm going to actually just swat through here, holding down the control button so it's equal. And then just take this line and kind of have it snap to that. Now I'm just going to delete this. Nudge this right back over and take your virtual segment delete key and delete those lines. Now there is a double line, and we can fix that in just a second. But as you can see, I'm pretty much dead on. Now the other line actually touched the other part. So let's back up here before we delete it, and let's turn it with no fill. Well, we're gonna go to object and convert it to an object. Go to outline. Then I'm going to left click, right click. And I am going to open up the contour docker, object, effects, contour. I'm going to contour to the inside one time. Let's say 0.2 and see what it looks like. .02. Contours 2. Tell you what we can do. Let's do this. Because this is our line. We're going to take our Smart Fill tool and fill that in. Now we can left click, right there, click. And now let's try to contour it. That'll work. So that might be our scenario. Even, well, you know what? Let's do this. Let's contour it twice. And then the other line is going to be our inner line. So now we're not going to worry too much about breaking the contour apart, but we can take our Smart Fill tool now. The only problem is it's going to have a black line on the bottom. Because that contoured around. Let's try this. Let's try moving our line up to that line. Now just take the Smart Fill tool, fill that in. It's pretty thick. I don't know why it did that. I don't know why it would be so thick. you know what I need to do is go up here and break the contour apart. Now let's try the Smart Fill tool. Don't know why that is so thick. See, there's a thin line. That's what I want. Whoop, that's perfect. So what I should do, well, you know what I did? I converted that line to an object. There we go. Now take the Smart Fill tool. Got to be right on the money. Let's zoom in here. Wow. This is a hairline. Tell you what, let's nudge it out of the way. There's the whole problem. I had two lines. There we go. Whenever you have a contour problem, it could be that. I think we're done. I think that looks really good. I've got some little bitty lines right here that you want to make sure, and it might even be from a drawing earlier. Yep, just delete them. And maybe our lines aren't, you know, if we look at it compared to the original, maybe because we didn't bring the lines all the way down, but that could be adjusted. I would just look over your font. Surprisingly, did good. I mean, now unless you need that gray matter and that farms in that, if you'll let me know, I'll help you figure that out too. But that worked out pretty well. I think that logo is pretty sharp. You know, it's going to look like a river. You know, there might be some things you could correct, but by redoing these lines, they're, well, right there we got a little bit of a problem. Because our other line was maybe a little bit smaller. So I would even chance this to do this. Grab that and just bring that in a little bit. That way it's inside those lines. Just make sure on the other side. I think that looks good. That would actually engrave good. You know, the blacks against the white. I would just test it one more time with a yellow box trick to make sure we're good to go. Go up to Object, Order, Backup Page. There's your logo. And I'll even send this to you and you can play with it more. Hope that helped. Thank you for watching.